Yo, what is
We
that?
live. You said, what is that?
Yeah, all facts. What is that? What does all that mean?
I hope I didn't mean crashing. We
Um,
live.
listen, let me talk to y'all for a second about going live right now. First and foremost, everybody, welcome to Cutscenes. Um, before we get into the regular rigmarole, as we usually do, I need to take a moment um to address something. It's not normal for us to get into anything that has to do with outside media and mainstream things that aren't specifically video games or pop culture stuff. But I need to take a moment to address this Breonna Taylor situation. Um, I just want to say that first and foremost, my heart goes out to her family because right now where I'm at as a black man in this country, I'm pretty angry at the way, truthfully, the decision that came down today, we're not going to get into the specifics, feels more disrespectful than not arresting those officers for murdering her in the first place. Um, having said that, I know that there are a lot of people who are very angry and rightfully so. I hope everybody stays completely safe. And doesn't allow their anger to get the better of them in a way that will cause themselves or someone else harm that doesn't deserve it.
Facts.
So, gentlemen, if either of you, Sin or Jokes, have anything that you would like to say on the matter, before we get into the reason why we're here on a regular basis, please take the time to say so.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Like,
yeah,
decision was
it's just
made,
disgusting.
and it's just disgusting. Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
hit the nail.
disgusting. It's pure disgusting. That's all it is. But unfortunately, it's what we've come to expect. Living in this country, which is sad.
You are true. Um, I felt like under the circumstances, today being what today is, I could not just come here and start talking about video games and Xboxes and PlayStations without, you know, we do this to escape.
Right.
A lot of those things, and we've had a need to escape a lot more often recently, than in times past. So, that being said, we're gonna escape for about an hour. So I want to thank everybody who's here, who is joining us right now to do just that. We do have a lot to discuss. The last couple days have been wild, Bill Hickok, and we're gonna get into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, snackers and snack X's, I'm Gage, Sin, and Jokes are in the building. How are we both?
Yo, feeling pretty good.
Man, we good.
Awesome.
We good.
Awesome. Listen, this is Cutscenes, and Cutscenes are,
The best part of the game.
that's an absolute fact. And today, cutscenes are in 4K at 120 frames a second.
Hey,
They
hey.
are.
You understand me? Here's what I want to do. First and foremost, I want to make the world aware that we have all managed to secure the bag. We all managed to
Yes.
secure Xbox Series X pre-order.
Woo.
We do not have systems. We
No,
do have
Oh,
we got
well,
pre-order.
confirmations of pre-orders.
yes.
Isn't that right, gentlemen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Okay. We've all checked our email to see if we received the confirmation.
Yes, we did.
Okay. Did everybody check their email to see if their confirmation was revoked?
It has not been revoked as of yet.
I have
It
not
still
checked-
has
I have
no
not
date.
checked it today.
It still has no date. Well, actually, I'll take it back. One has a date. One has a date. One does not.
Okay. That's right. Because you were able to secure two
Yes.
currently.
Mm-hmm.
See what happens with that. Since you didn't check yours, I see you checking it now. Let me just make sure.
Today, I checked it yesterday and I'm still good.
Oh no,
I checked it today,
I was crazy the whole.
And you know what? I'm still good.
After I had that order come through, I was checking all day yesterday. I was waiting to see it. Oh, we oversold, so we don't know when yours is going to show up. Oh, I'm sorry, we have to cancel your pre-order. I was ready for that to show up.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Listen, Ellis, relax, sir. You know, let me be extremely clear that at any given time in my house, there are like 20 things on the Wi-Fi. Like there's no escape in here. But rest assured that the box I chose, Ellis, versus the box you chose is the more powerful one that will make sure my games run that way, sir. We're going to get into that a little bit. Tony, I'm sorry with the sad face that you didn't get one, but I do want to say, you know, Microsoft, let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about the way pre-orders were handled first and foremost. Mm-hmm. By the way, Perp, I like that Flex Box Series X. You like that Flex Box. T, what up, T? Yeah, that Modern Warfare Season 6 gonna be a thing on that Series X.
Need that Wayne Core Wi-Fi.
Yeah, let's talk about the way pre-orders were handled. PS5, I feel like went live early. I feel like they
most certainly
jumped the gun.
Yeah.
Beat Xbox out the door. All in all, my opinion is that the pre-order process across the board, garbage. Even if you was trying to get the new NVIDIA card.
Oh no,
over the weekend or whatever.
That was just as bad. That was just as bad.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing altogether. Okay. Waiting for some next gen cross-platform first-person shooters so you can humble all of us.
Oh, it's Call of Duty then. I guess
Destiny is going to do it for sure.
Oh, true. They said they want so Destiny and Call of Duty. I'll be on both of those.
Destiny is going to do it, and Call of Duty is definitely doing it this year. So look, pre-order process. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. Sony barfed that joint. Admittedly so. Like straight up, just
we're sorry.
Like
we're sorry. We
hey,
know
look,
that.
y'all, sorry, dog. We know we could have handled that better. We know they still went closer. That joint almost seemed fake.
Look, between them and all the retailers you can get it from, like they were just like, you know what? Wait, throw that thing out there right now. Get this money.
All I know is Sony. Typically, I guess when they talk to retailers or however they do it, they put certain time frames that, hey, you know what, you guys have to go live at this amount of time. And even though they told the world that, you know what, hey, pre-orders will start tomorrow, clearly there was not something written in red saying that there was like an actual legal time frame that you had to do it, because Walmart was like, oh, have at them first before anybody else, and then every other retailer started following suit with the PlayStation alongside with it.
Yeah, I'm a jump out on a limb and just say that Sony was, they did not handle this like a multi-billion-dollar company at all. Your left hand doesn't know what your right hand is doing. If you do a press conference and in the press conference, you have your head person say, Jim Ryan comes out and says pre-order's going live tomorrow. Right. And then right behind the press conference, Jeff Keighley comes out and says, hey dog, pre-order's about to go live now.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
So crazy sitting there like I finished watching the conference, like, okay, bet, going live tomorrow. The next thing you know, everywhere just.
Oh, Walmart pop.
They're like, what? Huh? What?
I dropped that in the group. I was like, y'all, the discless PS5 is on Walmart right now.
Yeah. Hey, look, man, let's just keep it a buck. Tony been lying to y'all, and y'all just been eating it up. I just want to say it. It is what it is. That's not what we're here for right now. Right here, what we need to talk about is what happened Monday. So, if I had $7.5 billion in cash, I wouldn't be here right now. I mean, and I would take most of y'all with me. Most of y'all with wherever I was going. Look, let's keep a buck. You're right, Ellis. The one bonus to having Sony foobar their pre-order so badly is that the bots, those scalpers with the bots, did not have time to prepare for it ahead of time, like they did for what Microsoft had, which was a plan in place and a time, and this is when and how and so forth. But that is how you handle it as a business. As a business, you say, this is what, this is when, this is how you're going to do it. Now, might they have needed to address the naming conventions of their consoles a little better so that Xbox One X's had not jumped on Amazon by like 700%?
I didn't even think of that being a thing until like the next day, seeing that like
people
that
not paying attention at all.
Everybody just rushing, trying to get in. Sites are down. Just I need to hurry to get this Xbox. What is it? What? It's an X something. Okay, that has X.
There's X. Just do it.
Yeah,
didn't question the price point. Didn't question the fact that it was going to show up in less than a week. Like nothing got questioned.
Right.
You gonna have this Series X in like a week and a half. Like, bet I'm getting mine before anybody.
Because like us and everybody else out there, you're just clicking fast. You're looking for Xbox and an X, just trying to make sure you get a copy.
And you know what's sad? You know what's sad? There's probably somebody out there that still don't even realize that they ordered a 1X and not a Series X. And they will know next week.
Look, here's the thing. And we know at this point that as far as the pre-orders were concerned, that Best Buy and Amazon both chose not to go live at 8. Now, we also know through some inside that Best Buy wasn't really prepared to handle it at 8 o'clock anyway. But the reality of it is the ability to know what time they're supposed to go live and be able to go live shortly after that means that all of those folks who set bots to go live at 8 o'clock got nothing.
Mm-hmm. You know what?
Because they weren't able to get them at the time that they set. You know what I mean? To get them. So actually going later probably actually made it so that more people who actually wanted to get them and weren't scalpers trying to just move them on eBay were able to do that.
I actually like that strategy. It was smart. You know what I'm saying? A little underhanded, but like, you know the bots are out there. You know the scalpers are going to try to do it.
They're going to try.
So throw a little something out there. Let that run its course. All right, let's bring the rest of
Let's come in and get those people that didn't get lucky enough.
The reality of it is, if you're Best Buy or Amazon, you don't just want to sell the pre-order. You want to sell the pre-order and you want to attach to it, right? You want to sell controllers, games, whatever else you can put on top of it. And if you're just a bot, that ain't happening. So there is more money in it for them if they can allow people who actually want to get it and get other things to go along with it. It just makes more sense. Now, I saw a question. The T asked, is the discless version supposed to be better? Are you referring to the discless PS5 or the discless, the Xbox Series S versus the X? Because I can tell you what's what in a moment if you clarify exactly which one you're asking about.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, I want to get back into this purchase that Microsoft made of ZeniMax Media. $7.5 billion of ZeniMax Media. Microsoft, in essentially one fell swoop, jumped what their first party lineup was of 15
muscle that
to 23 studios. That's a major jump. And for those studios, it is a serious get. So here's the thing. Microsoft's first party, over the last like 2 years, they've been adding studios after studio after studio. Most of those studios have been smaller indie dev studios that have done solid work, like reputable work, but nothing along the AAA status that you find with like an Insomniac that Sony just recently purchased after doing what they did with Spider-Man. Or what Naughty Dog has been for Sony in terms of having that kind of a AAA experience. So, the fact, you're right, Tony, they did say that they're probably not going to, they're not done acquiring studios. There's going to be more. And I am of the mind that they probably were. The rumors were super heavy that they were looking at buying WB name.
Right.
And what WB wanted for it was like 4.6 billion, somewhere between 4.2, 4.6, which was probably asking a bit much. But Microsoft has it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they could have spent like 10, 11 and got all of that. That's definitely a possibility. He said, all right, I'll take that answer and I'll rate you. So Xbox Series S, the discless version, is not better than the Series X. It is close in specs, but it's only designed to run 1440p. So, like, if you don't have a 4K TV, and you don't want to spend that extra money,
that's a good way to
go to that one, the Xbox Series S is a solid way to go. Now, let's talk about what this means for Microsoft first party. Does this excite you? Are these studios and the games that they have? I'll tell you what, let me run this down real quick. Here's what we're looking at. So, in addition to Bethesda Softworks, you get Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, ZeniMax Online Studios, Arcane, Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog, and Roundhouse Studios. Now, if you're unfamiliar, those are the studios that do Doom, Dishonored, Elder Scrolls Online. Like, these are all major gets. Like, technically, with the lineup that Microsoft currently has, for real, with like Obsidian and now having Bethesda, like, outside of CD Projekt Red, Microsoft owns the game when it comes to Western RPGs. So when Sony shows up and says, we got Final Fantasy 16, which is probably a timed exclusive.
Yeah.
It might not be, but it probably is. And I only say that on the strength that the relationship that Microsoft has managed to develop with Square over the last year, where they announced all the Final Fantasy games coming to Game Pass, meaning you don't have to pay a dime for them, and we know that Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming to Xbox. That relationship exists. And so, in all likelihood, there's probably like a 1-year exclusivity deal or something in there that we haven't been told of, but it probably makes more sense that we'll more than likely see that come anyway. Do those games mean anything to you all?
I'm okay. I mean, like, I don't, like, by all means, I'm not the biggest Elder Scrolls player in the world. Like, I've definitely dabbled in the games here and there. I enjoy them. Not necessarily my go-to games of choice, but, you know, just the fact that, let's say all these titles now, since Microsoft owns them, they're all going to end up in Game Pass. There's a good chance that I'm going to go in Game Pass and download these games and play them. So that excites me that a lot of these big titles that normally I wouldn't necessarily grab for the normal, I'm going to be able to just go ahead, grab out of Game Pass eventually, and just smooth be able to play them.
Yeah, I think, like, just alone getting Fallout and Elder Scrolls is
either one of the two of them.
Insane. Yeah, that's just two big, massive, like, game-changing franchises in themselves. But everything else, like with Doom and everything else, it's. I'm excited. I'm excited for, you know, that acquisition and to see everything that they're gonna have coming from it. I'm amped up with this announcement. Absolutely.
The combination I've been saying for quite some time now that Microsoft is not. I mean, they certainly want to sell you console, but like that's not their main. Game Pass is where it's at for them. It is in the ecosystem. It is in the subscription service. Period. And if you look at what they've been doing with Game Pass just over the last couple of weeks, adding EA access, so now you get all those back. Okay, it's like 60 titles that are all EA. So your Maddens, your UFC, all of that now part of Game Pass. Well, it's about to be a part of Game Pass.
Right.
You add in the Bethesda titles and all of their other studios on top of what you already have with Microsoft first party. The value proposition of Game Pass is
pretty nice.
Unmatched.
Pretty nice.
It's unmatched. When you add in cloud gaming and being able to play anything that's Game Pass on your Android phone, step it up. Jokes.
Hey,
on your Android phone. Hey, look, man, trust me when I say, with moves like this, and there was some more litigation that happened with Apple kind of pretending to be a little more lenient about allowing game streaming services. I think that wall is going to get broken, and I know they're going to continue to push it. We can talk after this, T, if you need to. So, Game Pass, for me, is the new console. So let's talk about this for a second. Now that these titles are a part of the Microsoft family, what happens with their exclusivity? Is Microsoft going to keep Elder Scrolls 6, whatever the next Fallout is, Starfield? Matter of fact, before we even get into that, let's talk about the fact that Deathloop
that's what
and Ghostwire Tokyo have already been announced as timed exclusives for PlayStation 5, and now Microsoft owns those titles.
Yep.
They have come out and said, we will honor those contracts, which is what you do.
Respectable.
You know
That's
what
what you do.
From a business standpoint, that's what you do. But it does mean that there's a possibility that when somebody goes and they buy the PlayStation exclusive Deathloop, the first thing they're going to see is Microsoft's name.
Xbox Game Studios.
Xbox Game Studios. That's a real thing.
That's what we've been talking about.
Yep.
And the reality of it is, there's money to be made here. A lot of money to be made here. What's going to happen with these games that aren't those two titles? Does Microsoft keep them exclusive? Rap with me.
I'm going to say, I was going to say no. I do think maybe at least one of them, I believe they would try to keep as being exclusive. But for the majority, though, I think they like that flexibility of being able to have the game show up on PlayStation, Xbox Game Studios showing up right beforehand. Probably going to be a long wait screen for that on there, too. A good old... Can't skip past that joke for a minute. And on top of that, when you get into some of those games, you're probably going to have like billboards and stuff all over the place. Xbox Game Studios just randomly playing in the game now. So I definitely think, I think at least maybe one of the titles, I think they will keep exclusive just for the fact of being exclusive. But I do think the majority of them, though, they're still going to let you play it wherever you want to.
I think Starfield might be the exclusive one, but Doom, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, like those will all go everywhere, and Microsoft will just keep giving us the money. Whatever it is, just keep feeding our piggy bank, and we're good. Yeah,
that's fine. We good. We good. Oh, you playing on PlayStation? Hey, we appreciate that. But you know what? Go ahead and get the Game Pass too, because then you can play on your PC and your Android phone all at the same time while you're over there playing.
Also, it's literally how they were responding to people on Twitter, right?
Like, oh my God, that was
people on Twitter like, "Yo, man, I can't do it. I can't get my friends to buy an Xbox, even though I've been on Xbox since day one, since the OG. So I got to get a PlayStation 5." And they're just like, "Yeah, that's cool. Just go ahead and grab you a Game Pass."
And look, and I was gonna say as well. Also, with having these games on PlayStation, let's make sure crossplay works. PlayStation, you want to put on it, it's got to work. Period.
Microsoft going to enable that right off the break. No, we can't do that. Oh, yes, we can do that.
Well, here's what I think is going to happen. And I got a couple of, I always have a little something up here. First of all, Perk, if they get Sega and CD Project Red, that might be.
They're gonna become Microsoft. Gonna become Disney. Like they're gonna have everything.
One, I don't think. Yeah, you're right. So, Tony, I said, yeah. I mean, I'm not big on exclusivity. I mean, I understand what it means from a business standpoint. I really do. It makes sense. It is something that is designed to drive the sale of the box, right? To say that you can only do this here. It's the kind of thing you don't generally see in other forms of media most of the time, right? Like you don't see movie theaters, like you don't see AMC as the exclusive movie theater you can go watch this movie in. So if you want to watch this movie, you got to go to our theater. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't generally have that kind of stuff. The place where you do see it consistently and more often than anywhere else is in streaming. Streaming services, your Netflix, your Hulu, your Disney Plus, your HBO Max, your Peacock, is all about having exclusive content to get that dollar amount from you monthly. Come rock with us for a while. We have content you can't get anywhere else. We paid for it. We want you to pay us for it. That's what Game Pass is. That's the reality of it. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think there's a couple of things that could happen. I think that this move to buy Bethesda is a way to pressure Sony into not having a choice but to do cross-platform, and I'm going to tell you why. If you remember, Minecraft, the most cross-platform game that ever existed prior to Fortnite, when Microsoft came out like 3 years ago and was like, we're doing cross-platform. You can play Minecraft with anybody on any device. Oh, except PlayStation, because PlayStation won't play ball. And what happened? The game stopped getting updates. Minecraft on PlayStation stopped getting updates. Until what? Sony was like,
we'll do it.
Money.
We'll do it. We'll crossplay. We'll do it.
So when you tell me Starfield, Fallout, one of these Elder Scrolls Online, whatever, when Microsoft says these games must be cross-platform, and Sony says we're not doing cross-platform, that's cool. You don't get the update then.
Yep.
Your joint is broken now. Your players will be able to keep playing, but you can't play with us. So y'all gonna play the old joint, right?
Yeah.
So you've been trying to force cross-platform play. Now you have a way to do it. Because these games are big enough in the Fortnite realm, sort of, to be able to make it happen if you want it to happen. That's just what it is. You look at Rocket League. Rocket League went cross-platform, but it's also now owned by Epic. So now they got their own crossover happening. The Rocket League and Fortnite crossing hands. That's just to say, what up, Apple? You trying to let us do what we said? It's all of these little business moves are aimed at that. Here's what I see happening with Game Pass. It's my personal belief that Game Pass is in fact the new console. I think exclusivity will start to show up in Game Pass. So I've been saying for like a year and a half now, you're going to start to see third-party titles go day one in Game Pass. And you're basically seeing that with Destiny.
Yep.
Right now. Am I tripping?
Not at all.
Okay. So who foresaw that? Destiny, who for the last, 4 years, has had a marketing deal with Sony, and everything has come first to Sony. Now it's coming to you at no additional charge with brand new content in Game Pass.
Yep.
That means, one, there is money to be made if you're a third party and you're in Game Pass. And Microsoft has been able to prove it over and over and over again, which means more people will jump on that bandwagon. There's no two ways about it.
Especially with a big fish like Destiny doing it. Like, that'll definitely make third party. Like,
and getting the big new DLC inside of Game Pass. The big new DLC.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So when you say, okay, here's the deal. Starfield's about to drop. Starfield is going to be available exclusively in Game Pass for the first 6 months. And after that 6-month point, you can buy it on PlayStation, you can buy it on Xbox, and you can buy it on PC. However, if you're a Game Pass subscriber, you can play it earlier than everybody else. So for your $10 a month, jump in early, play it on your PC. If you're a PlayStation 5 person, jump in early, play it on your PC. Jump in early, play it on your Android phone. Mm-hmm. Jump in early and play it on your Xbox because your Game Pass is on your Xbox. Mm-hmm. If you don't have Game Pass, but you have an Xbox, you can wait, and you can buy it for $70, mm-hmm. which we all realize is going to be the new normal price for games. Yeah. So let's bear in mind that at $10 a month for 1 year of Game Pass, that's $120, which used to be 2 games. Now it's not 2 games anymore. Now it's a better deal than 2 games. So if you would like to pay Microsoft $70 a pop to play your games on PlayStation, by all means. Or go ahead and jump in that Game Pass stuff. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100.
The ability to leverage Game Pass as essentially the new console. Mark my words when I tell you, when that Game Pass app shows up on your Samsung TVs.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Hear me what I'm saying. When it shows up on your TV and Microsoft says, oh, you know that fancy blue controller we showed y'all? That's for the new X. Yeah, just
watch
that
this.
Up to the blue
just pair this up
TV,
to your Samsung TV.
And let's go. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have an Android phone? You know what most smart TVs run their smartness on? Android. You know, do you know what Sony TVs that are smart TVs? You know what they're running? Last time I checked, it was Android. Am I?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Because the storage, at least that store that you can go into in there.
For that extra money for that Apple TV, go ahead and get you a Roku for way less, and watch them joints be packaged with Xbox controllers.
Yep.
The landscape is changing. They're playing 2 completely separate games. Sony is like, nah, dog, buy our box to play our games.
That's it. Buy our box.
We're not doing backwards compatibility. You ain't getting PS1, PS2, or PS3.
We don't do that. We don't believe in that.
Get some PS4. We're gonna give you a little something, but you need to buy our box in order to play our games. Except we lying because you can play our new Miles Morales game on your PS4, and you can play our new Horizon game on your PS4. After we told you that we don't do that. As a matter of fact, Sony came out this week and said putting first-party games into a service like that is not a viable business option.
Yeah, I saw that was like, ain't Microsoft proving that wrong?
PlayStation. Hey, look, all they doing is lying, and then they go and do it. So I think that's what it is. They're gonna lie about it, and then they're gonna jump into it.
Yeah. Like I thought I saw something this week where we were talking about like all these PlayStation 4 games are gonna be backwards compatible. I was like, wait a minute, I thought you said like y'all test like the first 100. Now y'all making it sound like all of them will be.
99%. They said the strong number was 99%.
No. They did not say 99%. They said 99% of the top 100 PlayStation 4 games. 99% of the top 100 PS4 games. And what that means is 99 out of 100. Last time I checked, 100 games, 99%. There's a game that don't work. Just tell us what game don't work.
What's the one game that don't work?
I don't know. Something broken. It's something out there that's broken. I don't know what. Hey, now.
Hey, look. And real talk, you're right. You can mirror your phone on your TV and play your Game Pass games on your TV now using your Android phone. That's real talk, Perp Minded.
No, I haven't played games on the Note yet.
You haven't played any games on your Note?
No, but thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna make sure I do that this weekend.
Well, I have, and you know what else they did this week? They updated the Xbox Beta app for Android. You could already stream from your console. They just changed the name of it. But now, if you download the Xbox Beta app, you can't do it from the regular Xbox app. So you got to go in and specifically download the Xbox Beta app. You can play whatever games are on your console, on your phone.
Dig it.
You can stream them off your box straight to your phone. That's just without Game Pass. They are really, 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 really trying to push the idea of being able to play your games anywhere. And when you're doing that, that says to me, we're not going to take these titles and make them exclusive. I know they said they'll do it on a case-by-case basis, and there might be some things, right? Because Bethesda has dabbled in things like Fallout Shelter for mobile, right?
Mhm.
And so maybe you take something like that, and maybe it's on Switch, and it's not on anything else. You know what I mean? Maybe it's in Game Pass, and it's on Switch, and it never makes it to PlayStation. That's a possibility. I don't think there's a lot of people who would be pissed off if they had a more of a mobile title or something else that they were working on like that. You know, like Elder Scrolls Blades or whatever that went to phones, you know what I mean, or something like that. Like, I don't necessarily think that that would be an issue for them. But in gaining all of those studios that ZeniMax has, you also do now have studios that are developing games for mobile, which is a thing that Microsoft did not really have, and they are just beginning to dabble in with like Gears Pop.
Mhm.
Right.
So,
Yeah, but that's a good game.
my man T said, I'll be back. I gotta go get that Xbox Beta app.
Yeah, but no, the acquisition of Bethesda and all those will help them get a foothold in the mobile joint because they already have mobile joints that are out there working for them. So
You're right. You're absolutely right. Look, on that note, there's been a lot of talk. As the moment that Microsoft announced that acquisition, I began to see people going off about Sony buying Konami. Sony, you need to buy Konami.
I saw that. Like, shut up. Shut up.
No. Konami is what?
Konami has some decent stuff, but no.
Let's not undercut Konami for what they are. First and foremost, I don't think Sony has the money to buy Konami. Konami has a lot of money, man. They're not really doing games anymore, but they pachinko and bottled water. Let me put it to you this way. Let me talk to you. I'm talking right to you, Jokes. Right to you, Jokes. Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Mm-hmm.
You a Yu-Gi-Oh card dude?
It's been a long time, but
who makes Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
It's Konami all on that pack.
Konami got red, bro. Like,
they was the ones putting out them card games.
Sony's not buying Konami. Now,
no.
The rumors as of today are that there is a Metal Gear Solid remake happening, and that it might be a PlayStation exclusive. Okay?
No problem with that.
And I could certainly see PlayStation approaching Konami and being like, look, boy, let us get this Silent Hill. Boy, let us get this Metal Gear. Let us do something with these franchises you have that are dormant. Let us pay you for the use of the IP. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're not going to buy Konami outright.
No. But as big as remakes are right now, those are two popular enough franchises. I can see the first ones, getting redone if they're good enough. Doing the follow-ups. Yeah. Castlevania,
that could be a solid get. You know what I mean? For them if they do it the right way. And Sony has teams, man, like in Blue Point. After what they've done right now with Demon Souls, what they did with Shadow of the Colossus, like they're a solid team, man. If you're gonna put somebody on a remake, they got the team to do it. Now they don't own Blue Point, but Blue Point is technically second party. Like they really have done work for Sony. Mm-hmm. So, given that as a fact, the reality is, you're right. They might not do a new Metal Gear without Kojima.
But remake though.
But a remake.
Yeah, you just copy and
and Sony has a good enough relationship with Kojima, obviously because of Death Stranding.
Mm-hmm.
Because listen, let's put facts out there. Microsoft displayed this week that they have the money to drop if they want to buy exclusives. If they want to get joints, they can do it. I'm willing to, but a lot of this is about the relationships that you have with people that already exist.
And that was what they were talking about in their little discussion that they had. That was
and
the
that
prime
discussion
piece
that
of it.
we saw with Pete Hines and them talking to Larry Herb that they dropped earlier today was like, we just already have a great relationship with Microsoft. You know what I mean? So the relationship that Kojima has with Sony is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
it makes a lot of sense for him to choose to go with them, to have a trust factor in them, to know that they sell well in Japan and so forth. Like, that just, it makes sense. For Sony to be able to go to Kojima and say, look, if you would just do us a Metal Gear Solid and just come out and say, I love Blue Point and the work they've been doing, love what they did with Demon Souls, Shadow of Colossus is one of my favorite games, and they made it even better when they remade it. Can't wait to see what they do with Metal Gear Solid. It's a wrap.
Oh, yeah.
It's a wrap, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Rumors are that this is going to get announced at TGS this weekend, which is totally possible.
That'd be the perfect place for it.
Makes sense. And it's totally possible. But I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft, who said, well, we're not going to have anything next gen related to talk about at TGS, was just like, yeah, we're not talking about another next gen, but we went in and snatched up that IP right back. We putting this joint in Game Pass and putting this in Game Pass, but like, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they went to Konami and was like, listen, you're not doing anything with these franchises. If nothing else, let us get these old joints and put them joints in Game Pass. You know what I mean? And let the remake come to Game Pass day one.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't have to do nothing. We'll just take them and put them on the servers, and y'all can just start getting paid. Like your pachinko machines do for you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the analogy they're going to use right there. That's the analogy.
It wouldn't surprise me. It would size me. Because they're not really supposed to be able to make a power move like that in Japan. But it wouldn't surprise me. Hey, look. I think it's too early for an Uncharted remake, Perk.
Yeah.
Oh, nah. Nah, you ain't getting a remake of that. It would be a...
Yeah, it's too early.
And here's the thing.
Uncharted.
Microsoft would not buy Sony's game division. A couple of reasons. One, it is actually healthier for there to exist some level of competition.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. And if Microsoft tried to buy them, then the monopoly that they would hold would be way too high. You wouldn't be able to get it approved because then it's just Microsoft and Nintendo.
Yeah.
Nintendo got a lot of money. They don't have Microsoft money.
No. Don't have that $7+ billion.
And right now, please keep in mind that the Switch runs on mobile architecture. So putting Game Pass on the Switch, not impossible.
Mm-hmm. But I've been said
not
that.
Impossible at all.
I've been said that. It's happening.
Now, is it the same thing as Apple not wanting it on there because they have their own service?
With Nintendo, I don't think so. I don't think as much. Like,
you don't think so?
Nintendo has their lane. Like they have their lane that they just like to stay in. It's like they don't necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily say competing, but you know what? They do good at what they do. They're like, look, we're going to continue this. Hey, we can resell you this Mario 64 from 1996, and you gonna buy it again. Right. Sure did. Right. I bought it.
Right.
But we're
What's
gonna
up, Jay?
But we're gonna
Good
stay
to see
in
you,
this lane, and we're just gonna keep doing it. But you know what? If eventually the same thing like we're seeing Ori show up on the Switch, like it wouldn't surprise me. Granted, maybe it'll be like a watered down version of Game Pass per se. Maybe some of those games necessarily don't come over. But you know what? Hey, maybe they do have this Game Pass for Switch that does have these certain titles in there. Like Ori obviously will probably be the leader of said titles. But I definitely think it's something, especially just with the partnership we're seeing now with Microsoft and like these Japan studios. Like it wouldn't surprise me. PlayStation is just going to be PlayStation.
If this new console supposedly from Nintendo is getting announced or whatever like early next year, I can see Game Pass, like a full version of Game Pass, probably being a thing.
It would be powerful enough to run it. It does make me wonder if, like, a lot of people have been talking about the rumors that Nintendo is telling their developers to prepare their games to run in 4K.
Mm-hmm.
What I think could be missing is the fact that they might include 5G or a more powerful Wi-Fi that would allow you to stream from the cloud in a way that hasn't been done before.
Mm-hmm.
There is going to be some level of that coming from Sony at some point in the relatively near future, because we know that they did a deal with Microsoft to be able to use their Azure cloud service.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation Network runs on Amazon's servers. As a matter of fact, like half the internet runs on Amazon's back end network for being on the internet. Like IGN runs on Amazon's network. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? But if you're now running on the network of someone who is attempting to be your competitor, they sell your products, but Amazon is getting into gaming. It is just what it is. Like they have their own studios. They are beginning to put out games. They're not doing well.
Right.
That's not the point. Right?
The point is they're getting into the space.
But Amazon, with the strength that they have, with the networks that they run, means that cloud gaming, online gaming is definitely a place that they could go more easily than Sony could go. And now your competition, as Microsoft has been saying, Sony's not really our competition. Our competition is Google and Amazon and Apple. How does Sony continue to compete with that? Right? Because the reality of it is, everybody else who's your competitor, you essentially now have to go through in order for people to play your stuff. There is a percentage for every person that plays on PlayStation Network that goes to Amazon. Period. Right? Spider-Man was developed using the physics engine that Microsoft owns. Play your Spider-Man, watch the credits. Microsoft's name is in the credits. Microsoft got paid for every copy of Spider-Man that got sold. It is what it is. That's the game you playing. You understand what I'm saying? So when you really start digging into what's happening and where things are going, the thing I'm actually most scared of going into this generation is that Sony is starting to seem more like Nintendo to me, and is going to quickly become unprepared to compete going forward in the future.
Actually, yeah, they're being with the whole stubborn with, we're drawing the line in the sand, like trying to stick to these old kind of.
Well, they drew the line in the sand, and then they jumped right over it, like 3 times already.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But as we've seen, like they keep trying that, but us, society, keeps putting the pressure on them in different ways. Like, no, we want crossplay in Fortnite. No, we can't do it. Yes, you can.
Oops! It just happened. It just randomly happened. Oops!
Right.
Like, we're just pushing on them. Like, no, this is what we want. And if you want to keep producing stuff and giving us, games and consoles, you're going to give us what we want.
I mean, listen, Jay, that's a great question about trusting Sony after the issues that they've had with their security in the past. I mean, look.
Yeah.
A lot of people just don't even think about that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it happened a long time ago, and they don't really think about that anymore. But, I mean, that's a real thing. You know what I mean? Like, all of the things that are happening right now to the game industry are things that folks who are not traditionally console manufacturers, Sony is a hardware manufacturer, first and foremost. Microsoft is a software manufacturer, first and foremost. Amazon deals in sales, but their sales come from the internet. And so their business is based in internet and traffic and software and code, period, right? In Sony, you have a company that failed to write code well enough for you to even be able to change your name from one name to the other.
Very true.
You understand what I'm saying?
It took almost a decade for that to actually go down.
Oh my gosh.
So the reality of it is, Nintendo managed, like you said, Jokes, carve their own lane out. We make these very specific kinds of games for these very specific audiences that do actually run the gamut from very young children up to adults who have outgrown the shooter. Right? I don't do shooter. You know what I mean? But like, I'll play Animal Crossing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have this lane. They're easily the best developer on the planet. Their stuff doesn't have bugs. It's never broken.
You know what? Speaking of bugs, I saw a meme today that was funny about the Microsoft acquisition, like Bethesda and everything, talking about Bethesda better make sure these games come out with no bugs. Like Microsoft was talking about, look, when these games come out, we having no bugs. We put them on Game Pass, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know
it's a real thing
when they come out.
It's a very real thing. You know, look, I think they're fine right now from a security standpoint, Jay. I think that they're okay now. I mean, again, that was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Or so that happened. Sony should not make a new PSP.
They tried.
Yeah, I don't, because you can't compete with Switch. And the only way to compete with the Switch, which quietly, Nintendo this week shuttered the Game Boy and the DS line. They are no more.
Gone.
Which is the most official there is. The ability to compete with what Nintendo does from a handheld standpoint exists in Game Pass and it being already on your phone. They put out controllers that literally turn your phone into a Switch. You know what I'm saying? Like, the kinds of moves that are being made that are very front-facing, more or less consumer-friendly, for $10 a month, speaks to where the industry is headed. And Nintendo got left behind, we're going to say, at around the GameCube, but really more at the Wii. When it was just like, we don't have the money to put into, we're not going to do
that whole super next gen, whatever HD. You want. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not doing HD. We're not whatever. Like, Switch, 4Ks were a thing. Why they didn't do the Switch in 4K? It would have been too expensive, right? Because the Switch at 400 versus the Switch at 300, you're talking about a very different game. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that attach rate for Breath of the Wild goes way down if you got to spend an extra $100 to get that piece. So, after the Wii, the success of the Wii, and to an extent, the aftermath of the Wii, because the Wii sold like hotcakes, and then just ended up with a bunch of garbage games, right? That people were just chucking stuff onto it because so many people had it. Let's put a game on it. Like, the very last Wii game came out last year, Dance Dance, like 2019 or whatever it was, still on the Wii, right?
Yeah.
Wii U, behind the times, trying to compete with tablets and mobile and whatever, and failed. Switch was the culmination of what that really should have been. So they found a niche market. But now there's competition in that market that gives people the kind of games that don't necessarily love Donkey Kong or love Mario anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just, that landscape is going to continue to become harder for Sony to compete in if they don't stop being so stubborn and start adjusting the way they do business. They're already having to backpedal because it just isn't realistic. And they lost all of the people who were great people at Sony through the PS3 era, through the beginning of the PS4 era, that really made them what they were. Those people are gone now. Sean Layton gone unceremoniously, just like, yeah, I don't work there anymore. No tweet from PlayStation or anything saying, hey man, it's been a great 25 years. Thank you for all you did for us. Nothing. Just ghosted.
Somebody said something.
And maybe it could have been this conversation here, like looking at the way the landscape has changed. Like, look, we need to do A, B, and C. And certain people didn't.
Sound like somebody said something they shouldn't have said. Big FU came from somebody, and he was like, you know what? I'm done. Goodbye. And rolled out because that was just...
Yeah, I mean, and you're right, Floyd. They announced they'll still be making consoles, and they will still be making consoles. Like, consoles are not going to go away in the next 10 years, but we've already seen the switch from what is technically considered a console to what is just considered a set-top box, because it's officially official that we have boxes that don't have disk drives.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a Roku is. So for all intents and purposes, outside of the power that's in that box to run things at a full 4K or whatever it is, when you have something like an Xbox Series S that will do 1440 with the processing power that it has, it technically allows it to up-convert to 4K that your eye probably can't really see, and it won't really make a difference until 8K becomes a thing. When you can't actually stream games at 4K, you can only do it at 1080p. That box is the Xbox Roku. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Download your stuff and play your stuff. You don't need a disk drive. Your Netflix is here, so you have all your apps are here, all your games are here. The only reason why Microsoft got into the console race was literally to prevent Sony from taking over the living room. It's why Web TV existed. We're going to put out a keyboard that connects to your cable box so you can surf the internet on your TV, because we can't let Sony have that control. We need to put we need to make a game console, but Sony's getting too much control. That PlayStation got a CD player in it. People are actually watching their CDs on their television, and we don't know why. People are hooking up their boom boxes to their TV so they can hear their games. This ain't right. We got to stop this right now. We just got to intervene.
And now look where we're at, years later.
That's the whole purpose. There's a certain amount of hubris that comes with being where you are and understanding. Microsoft jumped the gun last console cycle by saying always online, digital, DRM. All of that crap exists now. All the stuff that everybody was like, we're not doing that. PlayStation 5 Digital Edition is everything Microsoft said the original Xbox One was going to be. They just jumped the gun, right? The things that you saw in the original Xbox were put into the Dreamcast by Microsoft. Dreamcast ran Windows CE. Just like what was on Nintendo was put into the Nintendo by PlayStation. And then PlayStation was like, oh, y'all not banging with us? All right, cool, we'll do it on our own. You understand what I'm saying? That hubris, right, that Sony had when Microsoft announced they were doing it, it's like Microsoft's a great company, but they don't know anything about games. But you've been publishing games on PCs for like a decade and a half.
Yeah.
What do you mean they don't know nothing about games? Now, they might not know consoles and living rooms.
True. And PC games are different.
They are.
Yeah,
but what they brought from PC in DirectX architecture and a hard drive is in every console you got now.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? We give Nintendo a lot of credit for starting new things and breaking molds. First analog stick, you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. First motion control, all that kind of stuff. A lot of what you see in systems now, Microsoft did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people give a lot of credit to the DualShock. I remember the Rumble Pack on the N64.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Rumble Pack, and then they hit that little expansion pack thing that you could put in that was supposed to enhance the graphics or whatever it was.
The reality of it is, if PlayStation doesn't make an adjustment to the way that they do business, it will cost them in the long run. It is going to continue to be harder for them to compete. They act like Game Pass shouldn't be a thing, isn't a thing, but then they do the PlayStation collection for PlayStation Plus, right? Well, why are you doing that? You're telling us backwards compatibility isn't important, nobody cares, we're not going to do it. But then you're telling people we're going to put all these PlayStation 4 games into a thing that's specifically for PlayStation 5. So you only believe in new generations. You don't believe in old generations. You understand what I'm saying?
It's them still
in the same way that...
And having to, bow their head like they're mad that they had to, like a little kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We was wrong. We was wrong. Now we got to do this. Lip all poked out and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, I understand. When you're the market leader, it makes sense, right? That as the market leader, traditionally, you have control over the way the market moves. Because the market just does whatever you do, whatever you say, because you're the leader. But when the person who is technically behind you in the market begins to make moves to expand the market into places that you're not in. You understand what I'm saying? Like when Phil Spencer says there's like 3 billion people playing games, just a lot of them are doing it on cell phones. We got to find a way to get to them. As a company of our own that produces video content, knowing that it doesn't make sense for us to put everything we do on YouTube and then say, hey, y'all come watch us on YouTube, come watch us on YouTube, come watch us on YouTube. You can look at the chat right now and see that there are people chatting on Twitter, people chatting on Facebook, people chatting on YouTube, because it makes more sense to get yourself where all the people are.
Yes.
Not to try to force the people to come to you. It's not how things work anymore. So if you're Netflix, right, you're going to the people because you're putting yourself on everything. I'm in every DVD box. I'm in cable boxes. I'm on TVs. Wherever you are, I'm on your phone. I'm in your game system. Wherever you, I want you to be able to access our stuff.
Your car stereo,
That's called a Tesla, sir. And it's in there, bro. Listen, I joke you not. I literally talked to a customer today at my store who was mad because her husband bought a Tesla like 2 days ago and didn't tell her. Hold on now.
Oh, wait, whoa.
Hey, listen, she was like, it was a used Tesla, and he got a perfect trade-in for his old truck that was like 20 years old, and his payments was exactly the same. So she was like, I was okay with it because we sat in the garage for like 2 hours charging the car, watching Hulu. In the house and watch it on your TV. Yes, we could have. But it was cool. You know what I mean?
I was watching Hulu on my Tesla.
The way the internet works is that the internet is everywhere you are. That's the whole point. That's what 5G is. That's what 4G was. That's what 3G was. That's what Wi-Fi is, right? It's everywhere you are. That's why McDonald's has Wi-Fi for free. That's why Starbucks has Wi-Fi for free. That's why Lowe's has Wi-Fi for free. You understand what I'm saying? So the internet is wherever you are. So if your games are on the internet and you can stream them over the internet, people are going to do it because you can go wherever they are. If Sony doesn't start to find a way to play ball in that arena, it won't matter how many consoles you sell. Because your ability to make money, you need to make up money that you're losing on every console you sell. But when that money that you're making by selling games in your digital store, you are splitting with the publisher and with Microsoft because they're publishing on your title. You are taking a smaller cut in order to make up the deficit that you've created by selling your consoles at a loss. That's what it is. That's not good. So somehow, I hope we do see Sony have, because Sony has some of the best games there are, period, on their platform. You can't get anywhere else. If they can find a way to compete with something like Game Pass,
I hope that's what they're using this Azure technology for. I hope whatever they got, like maybe we get an announcement about a TGS this weekend or just something. Like I'm hoping whatever they have in the pipeline is something to, you know, put some more competition back into.
Sure. But just keep in mind that means that they're still paying Microsoft to do it. Because Microsoft owns Azure.
True.
It still means that if they're on Amazon's internet network, that $50 you pay to PlayStation. Remember when PlayStation Online was free?
Yep. Yeah. That was their thing.
Because their security was garbage and they had to go to Amazon.
Everybody was bragging like,
and
now I gotta pay for internet. We don't over here, PlayStation, yada yada yada.
Like,
then the bill was horribly bad. And you know what? Yeah, we gotta start charging y'all. We need some security.
Oh no, you're telling like, yeah. So we gotta charge all now. Like, yeah.
When I'm not even trying to be funny about it. When somebody says to you, when you're at work with your folks and y'all are talking about that new game that's coming out, and somebody says to you, man, I can't wait to get home so I can play the new such and such, and you like, oh no, I got the joint right here. You understand what I'm saying? That's gonna start to be a problem for people.
I've been playing on my lunch break here. See?
I would be.
I'm playing Destiny right now. Well, I gotta go home and do the update. Stadia. poses an actual threat. It doesn't seem
Right.
like it.
Yeah.
But if
But
they
they
get it
do.
right,
Yeah.
They do. Because as long as Google doesn't do what Google normally does and just cut it off at the feet because it ain't doing what they thought it was going to do, if they stick with it and continue to put the money behind it, the structure that they have for internet, as 5G really starts to become a full-fledged thing everywhere, 5G is going to be better than what a lot of people can get in
Just a normal
ground-based
home, yeah.
internet in their houses, where they're telling people in rural America somewhere, you don't have enough bandwidth to download this game. And your provider for your cell phone, T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, is going, oh no, you got unlimited. Do your thing, bro. Go ahead and
Go
stream
for
that.
it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You're going to games that are 4K 60, 4K 120. We've talked about the size of what games are now and the possibility of them going larger and maybe them being the same. But if you got a data cap and a game is 100 gigs,
Whew.
you need to download it before you play it. Oh, you know what I forgot to tell
Talking
y'all?
about that, the
Did
Xbox.
y'all know
Xbox.
that one of the things that Microsoft did
I know what
this past week was make it so that you can pre-download games to your
before you
console
buy
from
'em.
your phone that you don't even own?
Yep, I peeped that. That is dope, and I can't do it.
Nice.
So one might think, why in the world would you be able to pre-download a game you haven't purchased
Easy.
or pre-order? Enlighten me, Jokes. Why
Hey.
would you do that?
I want day one. So like, if I go and I get ready to start playing, is if you bought a physical disc, you gotta come home, put that disc in. You gotta let that install. Versus, oh, here's the disc, pop it in, and you just go into the game. Updates
And
is
that
done
is
or whatnot ever.
exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is. It is for the people who are not ready to go all digital, who are tired of going to the store, buying a game, coming home, and then sitting for an hour or more while their game installs to the hard drive so they can play it. They will let you pre-download a game so that when you go to the store and buy it, you just have to put the disc in to activate what's already on your hard drive. And you don't have
Boom,
to wait.
and you good to go.
That's the kind of thing that you do to take care of your people.
I
to
love
take care
that.
of your consumer. You understand what I'm saying? It don't make sense for a lot of people, but it's gonna make sense for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of them things, man. It's gonna keep on being. You know what? That PlayStation Plus price is probably gonna go up. PlayStation Plus is probably gonna go up. I'll be very surprised if they're able to maintain $50 a year for much longer. I would say by E3 next year, their price is going up. What you say?
No, so I wouldn't be surprised.
When you add in PlayStation, if you're already saying that doing something like having your games go into a service like that is not sustainable,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? If you're already planning to take games that are not supposed to come out until like the end of next year, like holiday next year, and you're saying that's going to be on PlayStation 4, you intend to make PlayStation 4 be a thing for a little while longer. And I can imagine that if COVID wasn't a thing and they were able to produce more PlayStation 5 consoles, they might not have put Miles Morales and might not be putting, you know what I mean, like some of these other games on the PS4. They might have just say, you know what? Nah, you got to get a new system if you want to do it.
Yeah.
But that's a real thing. You know what I mean? So, again, you got to look at the overall landscape. When a company is saying to you, you know what, that's cool, man. Like we totally understand you wanting to get on PlayStation because that's where your friends play. But you might want to go ahead and jump on Game Pass and just download to your PC. Or if you got an Android phone, you can use your PlayStation controller to play Game Pass games on.
We don't care.
I don't know why you would. It's not a good controller. But
you can do it.
I mean, it's an easy controller. It's not a bad controller. It's just not as good as the Xbox controller. That's just what that is. You got to know that when they're not chasing the sale of your console as much as they are chasing getting you in the ecosystem, right? And the respect for your purchases, being able to play your old stuff, to continue to go back and play the stuff that you paid for, right? When I've had a PlayStation Network account, I don't know, since '06, something like that. So 14 years, right? Why do I own stuff on PlayStation 3 I can't play nowhere else?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why will I own stuff on PlayStation 4 that I can't play on PlayStation 5 when it's all digital? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I understand if I buy a disc and I give it up and I take it and I trade it in. But that's not how things work anymore, right? If you have an Apple device, you expect that your apps work across Apple device. I mean, eventually, obviously, something's changed somewhere down the line.
Right.
But the expectation is so different now because physical's not viable anymore. For real. GameStop's going to go away. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Or go online. Yeah, but not like the brick and mortar type of thing like that.
They're shuttering so many stores within the next year. It's like, it's insane.
Yeah. It's like 450 stores.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it went up from, there was originally supposed to be 3, and then within the last few weeks, it was like not going up to 4 and some change.
I mean, the reality of it is they'll get a shot in the arm from this, but I mean, if you think about it, right now, the boost that they have is from selling pre-orders for game systems that don't have discs.
Mm-hmm. And their stock actually went up a little bit. I peeped, like, I was like,
sure.
Yeah.
For now.
Okay.
Right? For now. But if they don't, like, GameStop almost needs to create an app and a store that could exist on
that's
your console where you could download straight from them and get a discount because you're a GameStop.
Power up member.
Yeah.
Yep, that thing.
Yeah.
Power up.
That's the angle they need to stick to if they want to survive.
But how do you convince Microsoft and Sony to let you do that?
To play ball with something
and undercut
like that.
them.
That's what they got to figure out. But that's the angle that they need to be going. Yeah.
Right. Because Target and Walmart still have reasons for you to be in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Coming to buy some clothes. Oh, you know what? Let's go look at these video games right quick.
I mean, it's just, you're going to walk past it. They're selling you TVs. That's not going away. You know what I mean? When you have guys like Todd Howard and they're talking about the strength of VR. I watched that interview today. They talked about playing games wherever. And remember that Todd Howard talked about Xbox One X being able to run Fallout in VR. And I told y'all that at some point, all Microsoft's going to do is say, "Oh yeah, that VR joint, it just plug it into the USB on the console and go ahead and knock yourself out." These VR joints from Bethesda are in Game Pass now.
That's gonna be so funny when they do, and that's exactly how
that HP VR joint for $200.
Give me that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
and that's gonna be one of those random drops they do. Like, it's like how they be having conversations with one another. Like, Bethesda's gonna post, "Hey, Xbox, you think it's time to do this VR thing?" And Xbox, you know what? Let's do it today. Hey, all these games in Game Pass, you can use in VR right now.
I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I saw announcements. There are games that are owned by Microsoft that are coming to PlayStation VR right now. Like, that's a thing. So, obviously, they're willing to play in that arena.
Definitely.
And let somebody else suffer the R&D.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope so. I hope to see some VR stuff coming to Xbox.
It's a real thing, man. Like, I can't even. Hey, listen. I don't know if you know this, Kay. I see you saying that GameStop should have been acquiring studios. They have. They have actually been publishing games relatively recent. It just ain't. You know.
Yeah.
It ain't.
There's a reason you don't know about it.
One of those things where people are like, "Oh man, I tried to pre-order on GameStop. Did you try Newegg? Because they're the same company." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Oh, I tried to get it on Walmart, but did you try Sam's
Sam's
Club?
Club?
They're the same company. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stuff like that, man. That just, I really think that the game is so different right now. I don't think Nintendo's in trouble yet, but I do think Nintendo needs to do something with their online offering.
Oh yeah, they got it. They gotta
quickly.
Yeah. 100%.
Quickly.
That and just simplify it.
I mean,
it's pretty simple as it is right
oh, you
now.
mean so you don't have to give a social security number in order to play with somebody?
Exactly.
That what you mean?
Okay, yeah, that I can.
Friend codes, all that kind of stuff. Like, just come on. I get it. They got people safe, but whatever. Come on.
I mean, but look, for Sony to come out and say that like backwards compatibility doesn't matter and it's not a thing, it's not sustainable. Nintendo is literally for $20 a year giving you their catalog of NES games, SNES games, and adding online functionality to it.
And that's working because it's still around.
We talking about Sony.
It's working.
It's just them. No, no. It's not when they hear the facts. Not when no.
It does feel a lot like take your ball and go home.
Yeah.
Right. Like now we got a new one. You know what I'm saying? We don't play with that ball anymore. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, okay, but I don't have that working out if they don't make some adjustments real quick. So, you know, look, we're gonna wrap that up. I hope everybody who wanted to get a pre-order of some sort managed to get it. If you didn't, my suggestion, whatever retailers you went to, sign up for whatever list they got. Get on their email list, even though you don't want their trash mail.
Hope they email.
Just get on it so that you'll know when the pre-orders are going live again. It's going to happen again. You know what I mean? And again, I imagine that there's going to be consoles. I mean, Microsoft has already said there will be consoles available on the first day.
Mm-hmm.
And how many and how hard they'll be to get,
Yikes.
and who might try to knock you over the head. That's a whole different thing. But you got one coming out at the beginning of the month, and you got the other one coming out right by Black Friday.
I'm ready.
That's tricky too. So, you know, like I said, man, I hope everybody got what they were looking for. Sin, if you would do me a favor and run down the Patreon folks that are at the highest tier for us. Please keep in mind you guys can all support us on Patreon just by going to patreon.com/loadingsnacks. That helps us to keep doing stuff like this. And eventually, I swear we're going to get to travel again. Like, I swear somebody is going to have a convention. And when they do, we're going to be able to just go. We're going to be ready. You know what I mean? Like, saying if you would.
Yeah, but shout out to Anthony Cunningham, shout out to Susan Doris, and shout out to Tyrone Carson. We truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you all very, very, very much.
No doubt. Ty, I see you in the chat. I'm sorry you didn't get one, but like I said, keep your eyes open. Listen, you need to shoot me a message, give me a number. When I get a link, I'll send you a link.
Yep, send it.
You know what I mean?
Make sure the squad
again, and one more time, I want to make sure that on this show where we are specifically talking video games, that I shout out Ellis one more time like I did yesterday on the Not Video Game Show, because that dude
came through in
the clutch. Hit me with this link right now. Hit it in there.
You almost didn't come through.
Hit it. Send it to Sin. Hit it. Did it.
All I saw was a link and said now. I know what that means. Push the button. Push the button.
That's from a dude who loved Batman, y'all. Gosh.
Hey, Batman came through the clutch.
I gotta show some love. That's what Batman does. He pulled them links right out his utility belt, dog. Here you go, bro.
Ready to go. How'd you get these links? They didn't even put them up yet. Because I'm Batman. I made these links.
I got these links, bro. Yeah, hit me with the links. I greatly appreciate that, man. I really do. Yeah, you really came through. Hopefully those pre-orders actually stay legit.
I just need not to get canceled. I got a backup.
We'll see what happens.
But if backup get canceled,
we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna be hot.
All right, y'all. let's wrap it up. Y'all know the drill, man. Follow us across all social media, man. We're really trying to make that push to take Instagram past 10,000. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend again. We greatly appreciate it. With that, we out. Toodles and Lose. Oh, what up? What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.